this video, we're talking about how to have a higher lead to appointment ratio in solar, and if you want to crush it in solar. Hey guys, welcome back to the best channel on the planet when it comes to solar and solar sales. Okay, my name is Ivan and I help people start and grow profitable sales businesses. How to start a remote solar sales business. Okay, that's what I teach people. The first link in the description. All right, that's a shameless plug. Now, what I wanted to talk about in this video is I actually got a comment from a subscriber of mine, and it was asking me about lead to appointment ratios and stuff like that. And so I thought it would be a good idea if I made a whole video about it, right? So again, if you have any questions, any burning questions about selling solar, any burning questions about, starting in solar or anything of that matter, okay, just please don't be shy. Post it down in the comments. I'll make a whole video on it. If it's a worthy question, of course, I'll make a video on it, right? And so the topic of today's video is like how to have a higher lead to appointment ratio. Now, mind you, those are going to be leads that will be coming from the internet. So those are not just your regular door knocking leads and whatnot, right? We're talking about leads generated specifically from the internet. I'm gonna run you through a few things that we do, and if that's you right now, then good for you. If not, it can also serve as a reminder, and maybe you'll learn something new. But I would highly recommend to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the new uploads in the future. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, the first thing is that we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. But about this one, like almost nobody follows up. Nobody follows up the way we do and the way you're supposed to follow up with leads. Every lead to me is an opportunity. Like, what does that mean? Every single one of those leads, doesn't matter how many times we've called them and they didn't answer and whatnot, that's a deal to me. Okay, so I treat it like a deal. I don't treat it as just a regular lead. To me, that's a deal, dude. It could happen any moment. They could not respond for 2 or 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden, bang, you caught them at the right day at the right time, and you got their attention, and then you're on the phone with them. And then you have the opportunity to obviously show them what solar's all about. Next thing you know, you're already sending them a proposal. That's how the follow-up game works. So I will tell you this, guys. If you have any type of CRM, make sure it's organized. Make sure everything's in the pipeline nice and neat. All right, and you know when to follow up with these leads, because I'll tell you this. I used to be the guy who doesn't follow up. And the reason for it is not because I'm lazy, but because I was unorganized. So make sure if you have a CRM right now, the best possible thing you could do is to organize and make sure you have a pipeline, a relevant pipeline that applies to every single one of the stages when the lead enters the CRM to when you close a deal. And that pipeline, as much as you can make it relevant as possible to you, that will help you tremendously with being organized. And then you have very, very few leads to fall through the cracks. And that's the whole goal, right? The whole goal is to have higher lead to appointment ratio. What you need to do is you need to, first of all, follow up with leads like a madman. And what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, those are not cold leads. By law, you are entitled to calling them as much as you possibly want to. Those leads are like, no one can f with you, okay? Those are TCPA compliant leads. They've already ticked the box, okay? We can call them, even if they're on the do not call list, nobody can sue you. They can't do anything to you, okay? If the person told you, hey, I want to be contacted, then there's nothing they could possibly do. They've given you their information, they've ticked the box, so now it's your responsibility to follow up like a madman, okay? You need to be like borderline jail. If you're like, okay, I'm following up too much, that's where you're probably like, listen, you need to follow up even more. The way you need to look at it is like this, guys. So I say that most people have the wrong idea. You have a good product, of course, you're selling solar. But in how would you feel if I was to tell you, all right, so you need to sell the cure for cancer, and that is really it. You can help people, save lives if you were to spread the word about cancer. Imagine that those leads are people that got cancer. Obviously, respectively, our solar leads, they've said somewhere along the customer journey, they complain about their bills being too high and they want to do something about it, right? So imagine if those leads were people who had cancer and they needed help. How much would you follow up? If you spread the word about the cure, that would literally help people and save their lives. And so I think it's a perspective change more than anything else. And I feel like some people, it's two things: perspective change, just people don't realize how much they need to be followed up with. Okay, that's number one. And number two is, dude, you're unorganized, and that's what's keeping you, not closing as many deals as you possibly can. So anyway, let's get on to our next thing. Next thing is you want to make sure that you give people the opportunity. Again, we're talking about online leads here. I'm not talking about any other methods, okay? I'm talking about if you generate a lead from a TikTok, YouTube ad, Facebook ad, that kind of stuff. They went through a funnel, right? They scheduled a call. Now you need to give people the opportunity. Obviously, we want to have a higher lead to appointment ratio. A lot of people are just like, they build a funnel, they build a quiz, they get people's information, and it's all good, and then the lead is just waiting to be contacted. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but how I would change it is I would give people the opportunity to schedule a call on the thank you page. And the thank you page is basically once they've already qualified, they have a good roof, they're a homeowner, their bill is over $100 and all that kind of stuff, right? All your qualification points in the quiz, they're there. And now they've become a lead. So you cannot possibly screw it up. All you need to do is you need to add an extra step to your funnel. You're gonna have a thank you page. So you might as well add your calendar in there and just say to people, hey, schedule a call. Find a time that applies to you. Talking about giving people the opportunity to schedule a call. Next thing is you want to make sure that you do not give them more than 3 days. Because if you give people, you say, I want to open up my calendar so people can choose to talk to me in 2 weeks because they might be going on a holiday. If that's the case, I don't want to talk to these people because guess what? They're not going to show up. 4 days out, 5 days out, rarely people show up, okay? If you've been in the industry, you know. If you haven't, I'm here to tell you that's what it is, okay? So make sure you have it 3 days out. And you don't give people the opportunity to schedule a call beyond that 3-day mark because you're gonna have a bunch of no-shows. And that's just the reality of any business, not just in solar. Could be in life insurance, could be in any other business. I'm just telling you, okay? If you give people more than 3 days out, they take the piss, okay? And then they don't show up and you have a low show up rate. I mean, sorry, not that you're gonna have a low show up rate. It's gonna impact your show up rate. Okay, right now, a lot of our clients have seen 80+% show up because we know how to follow up and we don't do more than 3 days out. Next thing is, and last for this video, make sure you change your phone number. Yes, you gotta change your phone number, man. Like when you have a CRM, that's why you shouldn't be using your personal cell for doing stuff like this. Make sure you change your phone number. No, that's not scammy. You won't look like a, freaking scammer or any of that stuff, right? Because sometimes people remember your digits. They could remember the first 3 or the last 4. They're like, oh, okay, it's this company. And if your text messages are coming from the same number, that's why you gotta change it. Okay, that's why you gotta change it because sometimes you need to throw people off. Now, usually if you run a campaign in, let's say, Phoenix, Arizona, well, you need to have your area code to be from there too. Otherwise, your contact rate is going to be lower. But that's your main phone number. Ideally, you want to have 2 to 3 phone numbers that are from AZ. The second thing is, if you have Go High Level, Go High Level integrates with an app called Twilio. So with Twilio, you can have as many phone numbers you want. So it costs $1 to get a phone number. So why would you not get another phone number? Why would you not have 10, 20 phone numbers? And just have them lined up in there. And so next thing is once you have a couple of phone numbers from the same area code, next thing is you want to throw them off. And so you want to have a bunch of phone numbers, like 2 to 3 at least, that are from out-of-state phone numbers, like from California, from New Jersey. Like hit them up, surprise them. Because these people need to be surprised. And so because your job is to get them on the call. A lot of people are like, oh, these people don't get on the call. That means they're not interested. Bro, you don't understand how this game works. That doesn't mean they're not interested. It just means they don't want to talk to you right now. And a lot of people make the mistake of trying to text people. They're like, I'm going to tell them everything about solar. And so if they're interested, they'll reply. No, you don't do that because now you're trying to sell them the system. Listen, it's a process, right? There's a reason why your ad looks like this. There's a reason why the ad copy is like this. There's a reason why we have a certain call to action. There's a reason why our landing page is structured the way it is. There's a reason why we collect information in our quizzes the way it is. And there's a reason why we let people schedule a call on the last page, on the thank you page. And so it's an entire journey. You don't close a deal any of those steps. You close a deal when it's time to close the deal. When you've already pitched the individual, when you found out it's the right thing for them to do, and then when you get them on the phone. But your next job from when you have the lead is to get them on the phone. Okay. Again, even if they schedule a call, you need to make sure you have a lot of these people show up. And I already shared with you a couple of strategies. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so we beat the freaking YouTube algo and we show up when someone's searching solar leads or solar sales. Okay. Let's beat it up because that's the best channel in the world when it comes to solar. All right. And so if you're also interested, if you want to know how this thing works, if you want to know the whole thing, like how to start and grow your very own remote solar business, there's a link in the description, free training, check it out. All right, it's super awesome. And you know, if the conversation ever comes up with any of your buddies or in social media, just please give me a solid and share this video or the channel. Okay, let people know where you're getting the goodies if that's your first time watching. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you again in the next video.